If you have digestive problems, then I don't have to tell you how your stomach can tense up when you are under stress, or also when you're dealing with certain type of people, including also your intestines can start to cramp and you have digestive problems. Now, what if I told you that over time, certain emotions can actually lead to ailments that is directly connected to your stomach and intestines? Hi, my name is Evette Rose, author and founder of Metaphysical Anatomy, which is a book of 679 medical ailments and also the hidden emotional stress and messages behind them that we all universally share, including what I'm about to talk about today. And so, welcome to today's topic, which is the negative emotions can cause digestive problems. So, to even just start off right off the bat, your vagus nerve has a tremendously big impact on your digestive system and also its health. And believe it or not, that your brain and your negative thoughts also play a very big influencing role as well. Now, I want to break down this explanation into two parts, which are external factors that influence your digestive system versus internal factors. Now let's start with the internal factors, meaning the cause of your digestive issues starts as a result of you and also stressful events with your family, with family members, and also people that are close to you in your circle. Because this can also be the root cause of tension and digestive problems in your intestines. Now, family dynamics and trauma with your family is actually stored and held in the digestive tract, right? Especially with people that you spend a lot of time with during your meals. Now, the strongest programming is also during your childhood. So you digest also your emotions with your food. So if you think this is funny, then I actually have an explanation for you. When you think of a thought, now in this case, a negative thought that was now triggered, say, by someone close to you, it sets off negative emotions and thoughts. Of course, we have reactions. Now, these negative thoughts are then brought to life by your brain, firing off your neural pathways, then sparking off electromagnetic fields, which holds the frequency, right? It holds the frequency of your negative thoughts, which were sparked by your inner need, like by your inner need to express an emotional response to a person or the environment that triggered you in a negative way, whether you verbally say it or not. The thought alone, the emotions alone is enough. Now, I'm sure that you're very familiar with by now that electromagnetic fields also hold and transmissions, right? And that intended frequency, right? Now, in this case, your negative thought and emotions is held there. Now, this electromagnetic field can also manipulate matter, and your body and your tissue is made of particle matter. Now, that negativity becomes trapped in your digestive system as the food is programmed with your negative thoughts and then pushed down into your digestive system, which is also part of matter in its own unique form. Then you also have neurons in your digestive tract, and that reads and feels the negative messages also held in the food that you digested. Now, this brings me to the external factors. Now, this explanation is also true for, say, for example, a chef, or someone who prepares your food. Have you noticed that the same type of meal, right, that is prepared by two different people with the exact same ingredients can feel, it's almost like once you've eaten it or while you are eating it, it can emotionally feel different. In this case now, excluding the company that you had with you when you ate your food. Because now, for example, if a chef or the person preparing your food at home, side note now, this also includes you as well. Now, you and all these other people, say for example now, thinking negative thoughts, and you end up digesting the negative emotions and thoughts that were transmitted to the food back into your digestive system. Now, how do these thoughts and emotions held in these electromagnetic fields affect your gut? It's because of the vagus nerve combined with sensory nerves communicating information back and forth. Right? So the vagus nerve also plays an extremely important role as a communicator and also as a connector between your brain and your gut microbiome. So if your emotions change, so does your gut flora. And when your gut flora is influenced with these negative emotions and thoughts, the functioning of your digestive system will also be affected because it has a direct influence on the microbiome in your gut. So, the moment you bite your food, your emotional state not only affects your mind and your emotional states and your emotional body and the physical body, it also affects the body's ability to absorb nutrition from your food. Now, let's move over to the emotional body and also the hidden messages and stress that has led up to your digestive system not always necessarily functioning as well as it should, provided that you have a good diet. Because of course, if you have a bad diet, then the outcome is obvious. So, when your body is in discomfort, there is a reason for it, right? Because the body does not just malfunction for no reason. Because when you look at an ailment, right, the causes of it can tell you almost exactly what was going on in someone else's life at the time. Now, the most amazing part here is that in most cases, these emotional messages are stored in specific parts of the body. And that is universal because our blueprint is exactly the same. Storing emotions in similar places, and also the intensity of it is held and also built on over generations. And these aspects sets apart whether you are more sensitive or tolerant to the possibility now of being challenged with digestive problems. So if you are challenged now with digestive issues, then you might also find yourself regularly in situations where you emotionally feel unable to almost like digest or to stomach a current situation or past circumstances. Now, it may also be a refusal or a stubbornness to accept what's happening in your reality. And you may also feel, right, in this case now, it's almost like that your ability to feel empowered has been deeply suppressed. Therefore, you've reverted to stubbornness as a substitute for the loss of power that you feel in your life. And you often feel perhaps emotionally a little bit inflexible when adjusting to new routines, new plans, or changes. Now, you are also very critical of yourself and also unforgiving of your own mistakes. And you might also feel very unsafe when others nurture you, as you perhaps now have associated being nurtured with the past traumatic event. Now, in the past, it could also be that your need for love and your need for nurturing could have been met by hostile reactions, right? By hostility, rejection, abuse, or even abandonment. And the list can go on. Now, your unmet needs and also regular rejection left you feeling angry. It left you feeling resentful and also empty. And now you're holding on to these emotions, yet refuse to express them at the same time. So it's almost like a double-edged sword there. And you've also here in this case, you've been pushed as a child whenever you shared your feelings. You've been pushed into believing someone else's opinion or someone else's values. And if that's not you, then it could have flipped to the other side of the spectrum where you felt punished for expressing yourself. Now, you also could have been made to feel very ashamed, right? Very guilty also for having needs in the first place. Forget about even expressing them, just even having them, right? So that we're here now in this case, that were time consuming, which left you feeling that you deserved less in life because you felt like you were a burden. And you may also have given up trying to be happy because of that, right? So instead, you feel you've become a servant and not an equal member of a community or family. And one of your biggest challenges also in life is to forgive yourself, right? Now, if this is you, not just even forgiving yourself, but just to forgive in general, then I would highly recommend that you watch my video, Forgiveness is a Trap. Now, also coming back to what I was talking about, digestive problems, these issues also can physically take the form of, say, constipation or even ulcers in the intestine and the stomach area. And you may also feel bloated and unable to digest food properly, and then unable to absorb all the essential nutrients that you need from your food. Now, also remember that wheat was also given to slaves and also to people that lived in poverty. It tended to be a staple food. And also over years, like hundreds of years in this case. And then the digestive system made unhealthy, offensive associations with it. So when wheat is digested, it could actually trigger these old ancestral messages, right? And also memories that's related to, say, abuse, suppression, loss, war trauma. And the list can go on. But whatever the answer is, it's normally a negative reaction. It's a negative experience. So I would highly recommend in this case that you actually explore your family history and also your grandparents. Right? Explore times when ancestors, for example, were disempowered, were humiliated, and also where they lacked human rights and freedom. Now also here, remember that when there is an opening or a sore in the intestines, it is important that the food that's being consumed is consumed in a calm state. Very important. Because the emotions that you feel when you consume your food can influence the vibration of the food and then how the body digests that. Now, the emotions that you feel can be energetically stored in the food. And the intestines will then also be tense and also due to you feeling upset or threatened or scared. Whatever it is, you might even have an instinctive reaction in that moment. Now, once the food passes through the intestine and the passages and also past the opening or the sore, the negative emotions stored in the food at the time of the consumption can actually aggravate or worsen the already existing condition that you have. Hence, why you might have to take medication or change your diet or try to heal it, but it doesn't necessarily work. Because apart from the psychosomatic reason as to why you had an opening in your intestines, now gets slightly more complicated because whatever negative emotions or thoughts you felt is now being combined with that. So make a point of meditating just briefly before consuming your food, because anger often flares up physically in weakened areas in the body, right? It comes through in the form of pain. So some food for thought. So guys, thank you for your wonderful questions and stay tuned to my channel and keep asking questions. I love them, I love them. And until next time, be the light that you are. Hi guys, thank you for joining me, and remember to grab your copy of Metaphysical Anatomy on Amazon, 679 medical ailments. And I also wrote about the psychosomatic root causes of that, and I'm spoiling you because I even added key points for you to start looking at important questions that you can ask yourself to start improving your quality of life. And also remember to catch me on Instagram, Evette Rose, 1 with the digit 1, and Metaphysical Anatomy on our Facebook fan page. Bye guys!